Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time to jump down one of the biggest rabbit holes in the history of Wizards of the Coast. You know, just saying that now, I could think of 10 that are even deeper and even weirder. Like, for example, why does anyone who works there still work there? Oh, and maybe like, why do they do half the crap they do? Why haven't they fixed MTGO? Why does Aaron Forsyth still work for them? Why the hell does Trick Jarrett still work there? Why did they just register an account on Tumblr even though that's a toxic wasteland of SJW BS? But this particular rabbit hole is very subtle, very interesting. Basically, way back in the day, Wizards made a very important, very base level decision about one of their products, and they made the exact opposite decision about another one of their products, and the consequences of both of those was just insane. I mean, it changed everything. It was arguably the most important decision that they made about the product, and yet they went one way with one product and another way with another product. So it's really interesting to look into, so I think you guys are going to find this video very interesting. Well, I might as well start this where I started, which is I signed up with a distributor a while ago to sell Magic the Gathering products. I did the math and thought, yeah, I can make money on this. Turned out I was wrong. They're overprinting the crap out of everything. But, my distributor sells all kinds of stuff. Board games, strategy games. Like, if you see it in a hobby shop, they sell it. Pretty much. I mean, there are some exceptions, but, on the whole, they carry probably 500 different companies' products. So they have this online catalog, aka little search engine for products, and, but I was looking through it and I thought, they sell a bunch of stuff. Let's see what else they sell. I wonder, if they have this or that. A while back, I had been looking on eBay because the 5th edition D&D initial, the player's guide or whatever, had just been released. It had been released like a month before. And, it was, $50 MSRP, something like that. And that was a lot for me. I'm broke. I'm poor. Big surprise to all of you. I believe that's come up in a video or two at this point. I'm eating like discount pasta and drinking Diet Shasta right now in between takes. Dude, if I add a Twinkie to it, that we've got the whole white trash combo platter. So needless to say, I wasn't too keen on paying $50, even though, D&D players are famous for not making local gaming stores very much money because, they buy like, expansion, and that's more of a Gamma World term, but, they buy a campaign, they buy some miniatures, they buy some books, and then you don't see them for like 6 months to a year. Well, you see them, but they ain't spending any money. So yes, I know, terrible of me, but I quite literally could not afford it. So I decided, hey, let's look on eBay. Nothing, total ghost town. I'm thinking, what the hell? This doesn't even make sense. Like, I literally could not find one single player's guide for 5th edition. I should say player's handbook, I believe it's called. I thought, am I spelling it wrong? Am I using a wrong term? And then I realized, wait a minute. I got like a welcome email thing, about my distributor, and they had warned that certain items were coded certain ways and were banned from online sales. And I had no idea who, what distributors, what products, whatever, and I thought, I bet D&D is one of those items. So I went back in the catalog, and sure enough, it had this weird, like 3 or 4 letter code, whatever, that I couldn't identify, and I thought, I bet that's that thing I was supposed to know about. So I sent an email to my distributor and said, hey, one, am I allowed to sell Dungeons & Dragons products at all, or do I need some kind of authorization? And 2, are they banned for sale online? I wasn't just asking for myself, I was asking because anytime you see a platform where people might want to buy something and the supply is 0 or close to it, or just running out, it's too short, hello, business opportunity. I can smell an opportunity like that from a mile away. Like, I'm like your dog when there's a squirrel outside the window. I was thinking, oh my god, there's a giant shortage of D&D books on eBay. I could order 1,000 and sell them, and there's my margin and the shipping weights and the spreadsheets and percentages and margins. Oh my god. Okay, realistically, I wasn't that hopeful. Little business tip for y'all here. If you can't figure out why nobody else in the world is doing a certain thing, there's probably something you're missing because somebody would have done it. So yeah, it turns out, one, you actually do need some kind of weird authorization or something to become a Dungeons & Dragons selling capable authorized location, whatever. I think you actually have to be a WPN location because I think WPN does not solely refer to Magic. Never did confirm that, I think that's the case. And also, yeah, they are banned for online sale. Now think about that for a second, and it might help if I would have mentioned a while ago, Wizards of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons. Oh, and Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, and let's see, who owns Hasbro? I think the Illuminati. I don't know, or nobody. Or both. It's the Illuminobody. They're a group of secret ninjas that work for the Illuminati. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. So for one of their products, they said absolutely no online sales. And I heard a rumor, and for all I know, this is just solely a really effective rumor. But if it looks like somebody's selling a banned item from Wizards online, they will themselves buy it, look at the serial number, track it back to a distributor, ask the distributor who they sold that particular serial number to, and then ban them. Like, they will never be able to sell another Wizards of the Coast product as long as they live. Like I said, don't know if that's true, but the rumor in the thread is out there, so apparently it works because there were no books on eBay. Now you're probably thinking, what's stopping the private sellers? Just some random person who bought a book and then, I don't know, got a second book for Christmas or something. Now they got two, or their friend quit the game, or, whatever. And then they decided to just sell it slightly used. Well, for 10,000 people wanting a book and 5 people doing that, they get scooped up within seconds. So there were people doing it, you just couldn't see them. But as for large scale people, like people who would say quantity available 100, yeah, I heard they get investigated. So you'd probably think, who's going to stop somebody from selling something online? You can't stop that. That's like when some celebrity nude photo gets leaked and then they try to issue takedowns. No, it's on the internet, it's gone. Okay, you've lost control of it when it comes to the internet. Well, I guess for physical items and distribution chains, it actually does work. Because like I said, I could not buy it online. I couldn't find it on Amazon, eBay, Google Shopping, product search, you name it, I could not find it. So their measures actually are effective. They decided we're not going to allow online sales of Dungeons & Dragons, and it worked. I know, I'm shocked too. So now when it comes to Magic, I am not going to get way into the economic and math side of this, but take my word for it when I say the reason that nobody can make money selling singles of Magic the Gathering past a tiny 5 or 10% margin if you're lucky, it's because everybody can sell them online. Now here's the thing, in case I didn't mention it, don't remember if I did on this particular take, I am not allowed to sell sealed product online. I don't have that type of allowance with Wizards or with my distributor, both, whatever. I would need to be part of something that they call, I totally forgot the name, the Wizards Online Authorized Retailer Partner, something like that. You see it once in a while on the bottoms of eBay auctions. You just have to abide by certain rules. I don't know many of them. I know you're not allowed to ship outside the country. You can't ship early, which really nobody's allowed to do. There's a couple restrictions, but they actually do let WPN locations sell some stuff online. Now, I'll come back to why that is the case in the near future, but people who are not WPN locations, that's even worse, because not only would we be selling sealed product online, but we'd be doing it while not providing a place to play. And that is bad. I am against online sales of sealed product at all. I don't think anybody should be allowed to do it. Singles, that makes sense. You need it to play the game. Your local gaming store is not going to have 32 copies of Casella to go around to all the players. That's just reality. Someone somewhere needs to be mailing out singles or the game doesn't work. Sealed product, though, you should really only pick that up from your local gaming store. If they're price gouging, then they deserve to have somebody go on eBay and buy a box instead, though. So even with non-WPN locations not allowed to sell online, there's never a shortage. I mean, you can find sealed boxes of a current set online from someone somewhere. So Wizards has completely failed by their own choice to block sealed products, and especially singles as well, from being sold online. Now, if they really, really, really wanted to, they could probably get away with it. I mean, yeah, it's big enough, but it's one of those things. If there's 10,000 sellers and 1 million customers, it's going to be sold out perpetually, and you'll have to just be lucky to get some kind of product before it sells out in seconds. So if they really wanted, they could suppress it. They chose not to, which is surprising because the whole Dungeons & Dragons thing is if you could go online and get the book for $29, but you'd have to pay the full $50 MSRP at a local gaming store, nobody would ever buy anything D&D related at a local gaming store. It's such a slow-moving, low quantity kind of thing anyway that any little bit would probably kill it. I mean, it's the same as Magic. You think that if people weren't selling boxes for $89 online, that any local gaming store would be charging less than $143 per booster box, which is the MSRP? Hell no. I mean, they might be nice to make it $130, but if there's no logical reason to sell a booster box for less than its MSRP, they just won't. Some of them are very aware that they have to compete with online prices, so they lower the prices. A lot of local gaming stores I've been to are like 100 to 105 for a booster box, and that's pretty much the standard local price. You ever see a local gaming store take a brand new Dungeons and Dragons manual or player's handbook or whatever and mark it down? Not unless they're crazy or if it's a holiday or Black Friday or something. They don't go as far as Apple level price controls where it is mandated by them that you sell it for a certain price, and if you go a penny under, they will penalize you and ban you from selling their products. But if nobody has any other competition, charge the MSRP. So just think how different Magic would be if they know that they're going to collect $143 per box, and they know that the distributor cost is, $78 to $86 per box. Yay, money! And MTG would actually make money. The fact that anybody and their grandma with a business location and an interest in Magic can immediately become a $100,000 a quarter orderer of Magic the Gathering products, because there really is no limit. That's a problem, because the result is, I can run more efficiently than you. Oh crap, that guy's running even more efficiently than me. That guy's just out of his grandma's garage and employs nobody, and he trained his gerbils to open packs of boosters. Whoever can run the leanest, cheapest, most efficient Magic operation is going to beat out everybody else. And that's what happened. Plus, let's say at the end of the day, after fees, shipping, eBay fees, whatever, I'm selling a booster box for like $89 and I make $4 profit, which is probably even a little bit generous. I got a special deal with that at my volume with my distributor. I can pay, $78 a box, and it's like $7 to ship it, a couple dollars in fees. Okay, I'm making $4 profit per box. As a product that costs like, $89, $90, $4 is a crap margin. Oh, but I just put boxes in other boxes, slap a label on them, and then drop them off at the post office. Boy, that's hard. One single person by themselves can ship an awful lot of product that way. It's just a matter of credit and money availability. I don't know why the hell credit card companies trust me with, God, what's the combined limit of all my cards? Probably $60,000? I mean, my credit score is like 800, but come on. I mean, at a certain point, I wouldn't even trust myself with $60,000. I don't know why the hell they do. How do they know I'm not just going to buy a boat, blow it up, and then declare bankruptcy? They don't. Probably kind of explains the interest rate. But hey, if I've got $50,000 in available credit, or I've got a home equity line of credit, I've got $100,000, $200,000, I've got an IRA that I can borrow against, you name it, I've got credit. Guess what? I just started a gigantic MTG business. So $4 a box when my volume is $250,000 per quarter per set release. I sit there and put boxes in other boxes, slap a label on them, and guess how much I would make per quarter? Just short of $13,000 profit. So that $4 margin is looking pretty damn good, and that is exactly how it works. First, somebody was saying, "Oh, $10, I can't sell these below a $10 profit margin." Then the next person goes, "Well, I mean, $9 profit margin, I could still make $26,000 profit, because my available credit is $250,000. And then the next person said, $8, and soon we're at $4. Hell, we're probably at $2. Somebody's looking at it like, $6,500 to, mail out a bunch of stuff once per quarter. All right, fine. I mean, $6,000. So that's why online you see prices and you're like, I know what the distributor's charging. I know what they're paying for shipping. I know what they're paying in fees. They're making like $1.10. What the hell? Yeah, but they're doing so much volume because they have so much available money that they pocket the difference. And that difference as a flat amount is acceptable to that person. That's how it works when something goes worldwide, when you have everybody in the entire world to compete with. So in contrast, like I said, with D&D, you have nobody to compete with. You cannot buy the products online, so they can get away with a 50% margin anywhere. I mean, the books are practically price controlled. You go to Magic, which is completely open. People can sell it online. It's available freely online. You can get it from just about any vendor, sealed boxes, sealed boosters, whatever you want. And suddenly $1 per box profit is acceptable, and that's it, and your local gaming store can't compete. So they either have to drop their prices, they have to not sell singles, or they have to just push that whole loyalty thing where it's like, oh, help us out, keep us in business. Don't buy online, online is evil. And I'm sure we've all heard that. I mean, who hasn't heard that, said that, and told new players that? When they're like, oh, I could just get that cheaper online. You're like, nah, you want to keep these people in business. Not cool. Do not buy stuff online if you can get it local. That's like the golden rule. That's the mantra that everybody lives by in Magic. Well, if that's the only thing propping up your business and everybody knows that singles aren't worth a damn thing, especially past like 2 weeks after release, it's just a bad product. Honestly, for stores, it's a bad product. I mean, you're looking at maybe a 10-15% margin, and that's it. And that's selling them sealed. That's not even opening them. You can't sell booster boxes anywhere near MSRP. What ruined it? The allowance of online sales. So 2 Wizards products, 2 completely different strategies. One is like, yeah, sell it online. We don't care. Here's a program called being an online authorized retailer. And then the other product, no, do not sell it online. We will have ninjas assassinate you. That's a paraphrase of their policy. So look at the results of one. Hey, high margin, preserved. It's forcing you to support your local store because it's the only place to get it. And then the other one, it's a disaster. Nobody can make any money and it's an awful product that everybody hates from a price standpoint. Which one's better? Well, do you like artificially inflated margins and price controls? Do you like Apple products, for example? Nobody is allowed to sell, X Apple product for under $249.99. Literally cannot find a deal anywhere. I mean, yeah, it makes the product look better, makes it more attractive, makes more money for your local store, helps them stay in business. But it kind of at the same time rips you off because it's an artificially higher price than if it was a true open market. But then you look at Magic, the true open market means some guy in his own homemade sweatshop is by himself selling sealed booster boxes for $1 profit, and he's fine with that. Because that's how he beats out every other competitor in the world, and that's what you have to do. Terrible business model, everything's cheaper online, nobody can even flirt with the MSRP. It's a disaster of a product for stores to carry, and then they have to have, heavily controlled, like carefully shipped items, like Modern Masters, Eternal Masters. Well then, From the Vault, Planechase Anthology, stuff like that. Those are the true money makers, and those are honestly also available online, so it almost kind of doesn't work. So I can see the positives and negatives of both. Now, you might be surprised again, I don't have a strong opinion as to which way it should go. Do I want price controls in Magic so I always have to pay more even though it supports my store? Probably not. But do I want all of the singles I eventually end up with to be worth more, which would be the side effect? Yeah, I do. I think that logically, the fact that you can open boosters and they become something else called singles, which are untraceable, that is the difference. When it comes to the Dungeons & Dragons stuff, there is nothing stopping people from going on eBay and selling their own private copy. If Wizards tries to buy it back and intercept it and trace it back, I mean, they won't even bother to do that, honestly, because it's just like some guy with no history of ever selling D&D products. It's obviously privately owned. Sometimes it's just like blah, blah, blah estate sales, and it just obviously came up for auction. Sometimes they come from storage auctions. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's just the type of thing that they don't typically sell, so you can tell it's not an organized thing. Here's the kicker. Several years ago, embarrassingly recently actually, the US made a law saying that... Okay, they didn't make a law. They confirmed that there is no law, stating that like companies can block people from selling their products online. There was 2 companies. One was Autodesk, the makers of AutoCAD, and they had in their terms of service, it say you cannot resell this license to anybody else. Used, not used, anything. And they had an agreement with eBay, which was crooked as all hell, where anybody listing, AutoCAD 2014 Inventor Edition on eBay would instantly have their product removed. It would be flagged as a product that's not allowed to be sold by the manufacturer. Same thing with, I believe it was Prada. They had a whole bunch of purses or something that people were selling online and they didn't like it because, well, if you bought a Prada purse for $1,000, then you're like, oh, I'm sick of it. I'm going to sell it on eBay for $700. Now people could get legit, like proven non-counterfeits for $700 instead of in a store. And stores rely on some absurdly high margin on that kind of stuff. And if you could just go online and save a couple hundred, come on, rich people love online shopping. I mean, they like the mall too, but come on, everybody jumps on eBay if they got money. In both of the court cases, honestly, I think it might have been the same court case, somebody sued to just have the right to stop removing their auctions. They said, I have every right to resell this. I bought it. It's my property. I can resell it. Guess what? Turns out that's true. So Wizards of the Coast cannot suddenly say everybody, business, personal, or otherwise, is not allowed to sell our cards online. They can't do that. It's illegal. eBay is under an obligation to not block that. So what would happen if every single vendor was told you cannot sell sealed product or singles online? You're not allowed to do it. We want this to be a local only product. Well, one, nobody could build a damn deck, so that wouldn't work. And two, everybody and their grandma would just jump on and list them anyway who's not a business. You can't tell the distributor to stop selling to me if I actually bought the product at a local store, busted open some packs, I only want to play blue, and I sold all the other colors than blue. And of course, everybody would do that because all the cards would be worth double because the supply is non-existent. There would be nobody doing it large scale, so everybody would just jump on and sell it themselves privately from their own private collections, I guess you could say, from their own trade binders. So that's why it wouldn't work, and I think that's the logical reason that Wizards does allow online sales. They kind of embraced it. They know what it does to the local gaming stores. They know it makes it an unprofitable item. But here's the kicker that you've probably already figured out. At the end of the day, it still makes them the same amount of money. Wizards doesn't care about a box EV. They don't care about singles prices. They don't care about anything. It does have a tiny influence on sales, so they care a little bit. But in general, every box that leaves their warehouse to a distributor goes somewhere to a store or to you or to whatever and gets opened or just basically as soon as it leaves their doors, they made money. They don't care what happens to it after that. As long as there's products leaving their doors, great. So if they open it up to an online market, instead of just making it local locked, they make 10 to 100 times more money. I guarantee it. It's not just people who don't live near a local gaming store. It's people who just buy it online because it's cheaper, let's be honest. And then, like I said, people literally would not be able to complete their decks if they had to buy booster boxes until they had enough mythics to complete their deck. That's not going to happen. The store's not going to open enough to do it. It's just not how Magic works. But do I think that the opposite works for D&D? Yeah, I do. It's so slow. It's so hard to move. People only buy the player's guide once because you only need one. It's one per player. If they're not interested in a new book, like, I don't know, what's like a 4.0 one, 4th edition? If they don't want to buy martial powers because they run a divine class, then they're not going to buy martial powers. It came out, a book comes out every, 3 months, whatever, and they just passed it up. So like once a year, you go into your local gaming store and spend like $50. That's a little bit different than Magic the Gathering. Oh, I've seen your credit card receipts, okay? We all know you spend more than that on Magic. So it's like a completely different product, even though it's kind of the same target, same place, same hobby store, same everything, same company, same supplier, same distributor. Because it moves so slow and it's so susceptible to just crashing instantly if the supply went through the roof, well, not even supply, availability, I think that they made the right choice for that one. I honestly cannot believe it worked. I really can't. But yeah, you pick them up local or you don't. There is nothing on eBay. It worked. It ensures profitability for the product for the store. All the stores carry it in response. And now Dungeons & Dragons is a worldwide thing. So although it seems like complete opposites, I think that it works. It's not contradictory at all. Both of them definitely fit the product that they're, planned for. And they were both actually pretty smart decisions on Wizards' part. One of the few decisions that Wizards made that was vaguely smart or positive or not a disaster. So now you know a little bit about the distribution methods and models for D&D, a little bit more about the Magic one, which you probably honestly already knew. What do you think? I mean, is there a third option that's a little bit better? I could think of one. They could go to solely selling DRM'd up digital versions, digital PDFs of the books, cut out the middleman, cut out the local store, and then you could play wherever the hell you want. I play D&D outside my local gaming store. Not literally outside, other places than my local gaming store anyway. If Wizards did that, they wouldn't even have to print it. They'd save paper, save ink, save shipping, save warehouse space, and they would just sell a replicatable digital good. Hey, it worked for Amazon with ebooks. That's an option. It would indeed make them more money, I can guarantee you that. So leave a comment with your thoughts on this whole thing, especially since if you don't, YouTube will apparently bury my channel alive like some kind of sadistic serial killer. Oh, and if you don't hit the like button, I will actually die. YouTube will kill me. I believe that's the way the new algorithm works. Either that or they're gonna go all Marina Joyce and like chain me to my desk and then I'll be forced to make YouTube videos 24/7. Not that that's not what I do anyway. So please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment button. If there's other buttons I'm forgetting about, hit all of them. Hit all the buttons. Who doesn't love clicking buttons? I freaking love buttons. So have fun clicking away and I'll see you guys next video.